I always feel like my Christmases are exciting until I watch Christmas movies. So much drama. Best Man Holiday is the intricate story of a group of friends who celebrate Christmas together while dealing with the ups and downs of friendship, love, hurt, jealousy, grace, forgiveness, and generally the entire scope of life. On first glance, the movie appears to be a typically overacted look at friends and family, but when it finds its legs, there's actually a lot to like here. Most of this comes down to a lot of really well-told interweaving stories. So much of this movie is the definition of humanity. The laughs, the loves, the pain, and the pleasure of what it means to be a living, breathing human being. And even though many of these stories do seem a bit over the top, they're presented in a way that feels completely believable. Now, I think much of that's due to the film's ability to not just stay on the surface, but to go deeper into these lives and relationships. It's easy for ensemble movies like this to fall into that trap of not giving enough depth to its characters and plot, but not here. In fact, I'd say this depth is the best thing about Best Man Holiday, and the cast locks it in with likable and nuanced performances all around. Specifically, I have to mention Terrence Howard, whose comic relief is such a great addition in this. Additional side note, I also found it refreshing that a movie that was so pro-God and faith was willing to have its characters be real people rather than cookie-cutter ideas of what people are supposed to be like. So real, in fact, that the movie easily earns its R rating, which is an interesting choice in a movie like this, but a choice I think the director earns with the result, even as it will likely limit the audience and marketability. So what didn't I like? Well, that's easy. The ends. Yes, ends, plural. And I actually mean that in a couple of ways. First of all, despite the middle of the film being pretty well done, this movie suffers from pretty big flaws on both ends. The beginning really takes a while to get its footing as we're introduced to so many characters in a way that feels disjointed and disorienting. I found myself asking for the first 30 minutes, who's that again? Wait, was that the one girl's husband or the other girl's boyfriend? And who's that white guy? Unfortunately, the folks around me didn't appreciate me making inquiries to the screen, so I had to figure it out myself. Once I did, it flowed quite nicely. It just took a little while to get there. And as for the finish, everything just seemed to tie up a bit too nicely into a Christmas bow, especially after a story so willing to take risks in the middle. The other thing I mean when I say I didn't like the ends is that there were too many of them, and they dragged on far past where I felt the conclusion of the movie should have gone. Overall, Best Man Holiday is a surprisingly deep and nuanced story that succeeds in the middle but fails on both ends. Some good performances and a great heart leave it right around a B-. So that's the review, but there is more. Stay tuned for the challenge question coming your way in a bit. But first, I'm going to throw some stuff up on the screen that you can click on if you like. If you want to subscribe, you can hit the big gray subscribe button to do that. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to see more reviews, I'll pop up 3 of those, my most recent, that you can check out, including a couple awards contenders like In a World and Dallas Buyers Club. I just reviewed those, as well as the killer whale documentary Blackfish. You can also click the logo right up here to go to yourmoviefriend.com, where you can search by title for reviews. And finally, this review's challenge question, here it is. Name the best Christmas movie that does not have the word Christmas in the title. I just stole a Christmas story from you. Mine involves a staircase knob that just won't stay on. See if you can figure that one out. Just leave your answers in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.